primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Doug Banks. Breaking news as we come on the air tonight. A serious incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington prompted the President, First Lady, and others to be rushed off stage. The incident occurred at around 9 tonight. Reports are flooding in at this time, suggesting there were multiple gunshots fired at the event. CNN reported that an agent announced a shooter was in custody. That same report says a source shared with them that President Trump and other cabinet members are doing okay. President Trump posted on Truth Social saying, quote, "Secret Service and law enforcement did a fantastic job. They acted quickly and bravely. The shooter has been apprehended," end quote. And that was also reiterated at a White House press conference just a few minutes ago. Trump also said that an officer was shot during the incident, but due to the officer wearing a bulletproof vest, they are doing well. This is a developing story that we'll be following tonight. Moving on into other news, here in Maine, a multi-vehicle crash in Bangor shut down traffic at around noon today. According to Maine State Police, multiple vehicles collided on I-395 westbound. All westbound traffic was temporarily shut down and diverted into Brewer. Lanes opened back up to traffic at around 1 p.m. No further details about the crash have been released at this time, and more information will be provided once it becomes available. To southern Maine now, one female has died and one male was life-flighted with serious burn injuries sustained during a residential structure fire in Hiram. Crews were called just before midnight yesterday to a 2.5-story residential structure on Bobbin Mill Road in Hiram with active fire conditions in both the basement and second floor. According to the State Fire Marshal's office, responders located at the rear of the building an adult male suffering from serious burn injuries. He was life-flighted to Maine Medical Center in Portland. Firefighters then located an adult female on the upper floor of the home. She was pronounced dead at the scene and was transported to the Chief Medical Examiner's office to be identified. Authorities today say a final cause will be released upon completion of the investigation, but preliminary findings suggest the fire was likely an accidental electrical malfunction originating in the basement area. In other news, the state will delay Medicaid payments to hospitals because of a budget shortfall. A spokesperson for the Maine Hospital Association confirmed that it could be July before the affected hospitals receive those necessary payments. When the supplemental budget was approved, it included funds to make up the $62 million shortfall, but the money from that budget won't actually start flowing in until July, hence the delay. In a statement, Maine Hospital Association President Jeff Austin said in part, quote, "These shortfalls are not driven by hospitals, but hospitals take the hit. Maine should compensate hospitals for providing interest-free loans to state government," end quote. The race for Maine governor is a crowded one, and today marked day 2 of the Maine GOP convention at the Augusta Civic Center. Allison LaPierre spoke to each Republican gubernatorial candidate in attendance and asked them about the issues most pressing to them.
1,500 delegates from across all of Maine's 16 counties gathered in the state's capital. The convention gives delegates a chance to hear from Maine's congressional and gubernatorial candidates. This year's theme is For the People.
We've got to elect a guy that has the principles, the values, the fire in his belly, and the experience to get the job done.
A majority of the gubernatorial candidates say they would like to make Maine become more affordable.
We're ready to make progress for Maine people, to make things cheaper, make things more affordable and safer.
Obviously, Maine cannot be the 5th poorest state and then have the 3rd highest tax load in the country. That's crazy. Obviously, we need to cut our taxes. I say $1 billion.
Other candidates would like to prioritize changes to Maine school systems and education programs.
74% of our 4th graders in 2024 were not proficient in reading, and that's just one of many stats. And so we have to have an outsider who has a fresh perspective and is willing to look and say, listen, it's broken. Let's fix this.
We need an evidence-based curriculum. We need to pass a science for reading law like Mississippi did that went from 49th to 9th in the country. We do that. We get people to read. That's important for the rest of their lives, and that's going to be a major focus of mine.
One goal each candidate has in common is to make the state a better place.
Get this state back so that our kids have a future and we can all be proud of the place we live in. We can afford it, it's safe, we don't have nonsense, and we believe in the future.
It's a place where people can do well for themselves, families can do well for themselves, and we create a better, more prosperous and livable future for people in the state because it's a state we love.
The event concluded with speeches from Maine Republican leaders.
And that was Allison LaPierre reporting. 2nd Congressional District candidate Joe Baldacci held a spaghetti supper in Old Town last night. Our Callie Warren spoke with him and local constituents.
It's a great crowd and a lot of old friends here too, and I really appreciate everybody being here. This is great. Doing these events started with my dad, because it's a way to bring people together, talk about issues in a friendly atmosphere, and this is a very friendly atmosphere.
You know, we're seeing a lot of our friends in town, and glad they're representing Old Town and here to support Joe.
Well, it's a nice trend to have a politician cook for you and then also be able to talk to you one-on-one and make it a hometown feeling.
Homemade meatballs, homemade sauce, spaghetti, and homemade cannolis. Doesn't matter what party you are, we're going to serve everybody.
Some of our viewers might remember your family restaurant, so is tonight kind of a little nostalgic for you in that?
Well, I used to work behind the line at the restaurant when I was a wee lad, and so it brings back a lot of memories of working with my brothers and my parents and everybody. But no, it's always... The restaurant was always a great place for people to congregate and meet and old friends and new friends. So it was like a social thing. People came out, we packed this place, and a lot of good energy. A lot of people who want change and want good leadership and want the country to move in a better direction. And they want cannolis.
In Old Town, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Moving on, the Maine Forest Service says they are expanding the quarantine boundaries for the invasive tree-destroying pest, the emerald ash borer. The agency says earlier this month, a tree in the Aroostook County town of Benedicta was discovered to be infested with the EAB. The tree is far removed from any area in Maine where the EAB is known to be found, which they say suggests that the infestation was most likely caused by the moving of infested ash material like firewood outside the quarantine boundary. The agency says this development highlights the need for folks to be vigilant when moving vulnerable materials like firewood, as the consequences can be dire for the state's natural resources. Both Benedicta and the surrounding towns are being added to the existing quarantine area. Senator Angus King is joining 33 of his Senate colleagues as they raise concerns about workforce and service reductions at the U.S. Forest Service. Those senators say a reorganization effort at the Forest Service could reduce the workforce there and potentially impact over 6,500 employees. The Forest Service manages the National Forest System, which includes 193 million acres of land, as well as performing research and delivering assistance to those that work in the forestry industry. These senators penned a letter to Forest Service Deputy Secretary Stephen Vaden to express concerns about research cuts and reorganization. They said in part, quote, "After the deep cuts over the previous year, a 2025 survey by the Partnership for Public Service found that the USFS was significantly worse at fulfilling stakeholder needs and providing quality service than a year earlier," end quote. Some of the additional concerns these senators expressed include wildfire mitigation, restoration projects, and trail maintenance. Budget season is here again. On Thursday night, Bangor City Council held a budget workshop where a familiar topic took center stage: the evolving role of the public library. Alex Schley explains why officials are asking for more funding.
The library is really for everybody, and it almost seems like it's sort of been hijacked.
The sentiment officials say is one they're hearing more and more.
Several elderly ladies that have told me that used to be their pastime to go to with their book club, and they do not feel comfortable to go anymore.
The library has become what some call the city's last true public space, and for some, a first stop in a crisis.
Some of them are escaping sex trafficking, and the library was the first place they ended up. How we respond in that moment has an impact as a community.
But that funding is set to run out at the end of the year.
If we had another location in the city where people were going, that was a public space, they were going all the time, and we had stood that up a year ago, we might be having a different conversation now.
Treat says the library will continue to connect people with social services.
Do everything we can to connect unhoused people with the service providers.
Still, he says there's reason for optimism, pointing to the city's new homelessness committee as a step in the right direction.
I'm really enthusiastic about the council having formed a committee. It sounds like they've got all the right intentions and all the right charge for that committee. And I hope that the committee is able to make some quick recommendations that are things that can start to take root now.
For now, whether the council will turn initiative into action remains to be seen, leaving the library's list of purposes an open book. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A new program at Togus Veterans Hospital is helping Maine veterans avoid fighting any of their post-service battles alone, including battles with substance use disorder. Our Callie Warren takes us to the brand new Togus Residential Rehabilitation Treatment Program.
My recovery must come first, so everything that I love in my life does not have to come last.
Maine veterans have already sacrificed. Togus VA Hospital is making sure they don't have to keep making sacrifices to recover from substance use disorder.
I know with all the hardworking, caring people here at Togus, many veterans like myself stand a fighting chance against their affliction. With their help and my hard work, I am 960 days sober today and living proof that recovery is possible.
A new residential treatment facility officially opened on Saturday, ensuring that those who have already done their duties can have a place to recover with dignity.
We have been, focused on this day, but also May 4th when we accept our first veteran for so long. We're so thrilled to open the doors and bring veterans in and have them getting care with us.
It will have residential treatment, it has therapy rooms, it has recreational rooms, it has places for families to gather, and it's going to make such a difference to Maine veterans who have these challenges.
Veterans say many have faced excessive